What is going on, everybody? How we doing today? As usual, hope you're doing well. Let me know if my microphone is all messed up. There's a chance it is. I had to move it around, you know. My rule is that when I get it situated, don't fucking touch it, and I broke that rule. I broke the rule. But um yeah, today, Wednesday. All right. Hmm. Oh, okay. All right, we're good. We're good. Anyway, today's a Wednesday. We're doing our usual Wednesday stream. Gonna hang out. And we are going to be doing some AoE today. Nothing too huge or anything like that. Just chill, nice chill Wednesday. It's going to be a quick 2 hour one. I got some stuff I got to do a little bit later tonight, but thank you all for being here. Thanks for all. Thank you for showing up. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh no, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna read the chat. What's going on, Zachary Barrett? What's going on, Neon? Andrew Men Andrew Meneses Meneses. Big Boss. What's going on, Smart Moron? What's going on, Your World Tonight? Your World Tonight says, "Yo, Scott, funny coincidence you calling out Dugan a little bit last weekend, and this week Dugan retweeted Sam's video." Yeah, because like Dugan is weird because he's a commie, but he is racist. You know, he's a racist commie. So he ends up in a situation where like there's a lot of right wingers. In fact, I would say he probably more so agrees with right wingers on a lot of the different ideas and I or not ideologies necessarily, but just some of the things that they have to say, right? And that's my big critique of him is that it's a situation where even if he is socially conservative, he's still trying to usher in something that a certain group of people tend to try and usher in as well. You know, there's certain groups out there, certain groups of people that prefer communism to capitalism or any other kind of economic system that could take place or does exist or anything like that. And because of that, it's like I just don't trust it. I don't trust him. You know. Um, it kind of reminds me of like a Muslim taqiyya, I believe is what it's called. It's taqiyya or taqwiya or something like that. But it's basically just lying to infidels is essentially what it is. And it would like because here's the thing. It's kind of a complicated subject, but it's not that hard to understand. The average Soviet at the time that Lenin and Stalin were around, or even like some of the later guys like Brezhnev, Gorbachev, those guys, they would have looked at transgenderism and a bunch of other things as bourgeois immorality or some other form of like capitalist subversion or something like that. You know, they are all very socially conservative people. Even someone like Gorbachev, who was known for like glasnost and perestroika. I'm pretty sure it was Gorbachev that was known for that. So it's kind of a situation where it's like, well, Dugin was a communist, like thinker or something like that. So to me, it just seems like I understand there's a little bit more to it, right? I understand there's a little bit more to it, right? I'm not exactly steel manning his beliefs or his ideals or anything like that, but um, I just don't trust it. I just don't trust commies, is the bottom line. I think communism is doomed to fail, even if you take a socially conservative, racially homogenous group of people and you throw them in a country. I think that it is doomed to fail. I think that human nature just will not allow it to succeed. That's just the way that I feel about it. So when it comes to someone like Dugan or something like that, I don't trust it, and I don't trust his supporters because what I've known from his supporters or what I've seen from his supporters, which there's like none of them anymore. Like that was a meme back in like 2020. I remember like third position guys being like, "I'm not left or right. I'm third position, and Dugan is correct." You know, but like his fan base, if you will, the people who followed him back when he was gaining a little bit of steam in the right wing, It was less that they were actual believers in what he said, and more that they were war weary. They were tired of fighting. They were tired of losing, for one thing, because for a long time the right was losing to the left. We're starting to see that kind of tip back in our direction a little bit now. Hopefully, we can make that work more. But you just saw a lot of guys who were like, okay, fine, I'll take communism as long as I get to say the N word. That was like literally the mindset of a lot of these people. So that's kind of why I'm not a big fan of Dugan. It's a lot of it is his fan base, and then the other piece of it is that I just don't trust commies. And just because you have this Eurasian idea of like, well, the Africans got to stay in Africa, and we're gonna have one big communist utopia here. It's I don't think it's gonna work. You know, um, Dugan has some interesting ideas, but yeah, not a fan. Anyone identifying as anti-fascist is now associated with a terrorist group. Oh, I hope so. Fucking hope so. Fucking hope so. I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I'm designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. That's pretty cool. You see, I got into a slight argument with somebody the other day. I have such little respect for this woman. I'm actually gonna leak the um uh hold up. Huh. Oh, you know what? Fuck. I put myself in a situation here. Wait a second. Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. I didn't hey guys. Hey guys, how we doing? I didn't want to have to fucking I didn't want to have to I look so fucking stupid. I didn't want to reveal other DMs that I've sent to people and stuff like that. But this chick right here, right? I got curious because I'm not activated. I'm not activated. I'm not doing anything or anything like that. When I got out of politics, I got out of politics, right? I know I'm becoming another politics guy, but there's a difference between there's 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 a difference between being a pundit or pundit. There's a difference between being a guy with a YouTube channel who doesn't know how to make a video with proper audio levels and things like that, and somebody who is like, yes, I'm an activist. I'm going out and I'm confronting the enemy and I'm holding signs and stuff like that. But I got curious. Right? This chick posts this in June. I know, like, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty crazy. I said, hello, I'm wondering where exactly you found them, how many there were, and if there were any pics or videos you took of them. She's just like, why? It's like this is an anti-communist who, instead of sharing the info, she's like, why? And I'm just like, what the fuck, And I said, because it's good to know so you can keep track of them, especially in today's world. There's an event for Charlie Kirk coming up next week, and want to try engage potential opposition attendance. She says they don't care about Charlie Kirk. And I said, again, just very flat, very like bitchy. And I was just like, what is this bitch's problem? So I said, they do tend to care about anything conservatives, libertarians, or anyone who's not one of them are up to. I've seen them counter demo even events for whistleblowers like Julian Assange because of who was putting it on, which happened. That happened with us. We put on an event, a free whistleblowers event. And we did it for all whistleblowers, including the fucking Bradley the tranny Manning, right? We kind of included Bradley in on that, right? Because it's like, all right, whatever, complete freak. There were some things that kind of you could say some stuff, but we were like, whatever, let's do it. They counter protested us, they countered us. So it's like, what the fuck? No, they don't. They don't care. They care about Democrats far more than they care about you. And I said, yes, that's why their MO is to show up to counter Democrat Party events. They don't do that. They don't fucking do that. Now, there is something that happens, right, with Antifa, where they have a slogan called "Liberals get the bullet too," and that slogan is basically they consider Democrats to be traitors. Is what they do. They consider Democrats to be traitors. So it's kind of one of those situations where like you should hate a traitor more than an enemy, and they hate their traitors more than enemies, right? But they're not counter demonstrating Democrat Party shit. They've never done that. That's not a thing they do. So I said, I get what you mean by that, and I understand your point, but gatekeeping info that people are attempting to use to ensure safety at an event is a strange move. Regardless of how militant anarchists and communists feel about liberals, they keep their sights on people who are further right than those people. You aren't the only one who knows about Antifa and far-left movements. Do you even know the genesis of Antifa? She didn't get back to me in time, so I was like, reading your stuff, you definitely don't know as much as you think you do. It's clear your main concern is self-aggrandizement and feeling like you're the sole source of information on the topic. You nitpick regarding info that doesn't matter that much and gatekeep. I wish I read your stuff before hitting you up so I could so I could at least be aware of your lack of understanding and not bother. Right? And then she blocked me after this. Like that pissed me off. That pissed me off, and I don't have any fucking respect for this bitch. So that's why I was gonna like show that to you guys, right? And this is a great example of why I got out of politics, because it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, how long you've been around, how much experience you have. There's always somebody who comes in and they've been hanging out for 5 minutes and they think they already know it better than you do, you know? It was just fucking annoying. It was just stupid as shit, you know. Bro, she's mid. I mean, I wasn't trying to riz, you know. I was trying to get some information out of her. That way I could tell whether or not, one, I would be interested in going to something like that, which, you know, like I said, I'm not going to it. I decided against it. But then in addition to that, like if there was going to be some kind of issue, maybe I could pass that along to the people who are organizing it, right? Because even if I'm not going to go, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. So, you know, like if there was some kind of situation, I mean, look at this, right? Sorry. Well, like you can see in this picture right here, blocking up, right? That's one of the tactics that they. Oh, you can't see it right here, blocking up, right? Direct action for animal rights. In this case, it's animal rights, but direct action is a dog whistle. Direct action is a dog whistle for violence. Direct action is a dog whistle for, hey, we're gonna commit crimes and things like that. And a black bloc, the black bloc, is a tactic that they use. It's not just a left-wing thing. Like if you go over to Europe, everybody blocks up. Everybody does black bloc. You know, you have left-wingers, right-wingers. It's just a way to not get caught by the cops, you know. But like Antifa uses it as a means to, again, make sure that they can fucking fight people or do other bad things and not get caught as easily, right? So it just pissed me off, and this is exactly why I was like itching to get out of politics when I did get out of it, right? And the reason why I'm showing you this after Donald Trump apparently said that he was going to what was he gonna do? He was gonna, yes, classify them as a major terrorist organization. There's a reason for that, right? It's because even people who claim to understand Antifa, they don't really understand Antifa. And even if they do, they don't understand tactics and strategy in terms of how the culture war plays out, right? Antifa has not been a big thing in the country for a long time. You still have Torch Network, which is up, that encompasses a lot of different groups. You also have Rose City, where like even to my understanding, their capacity is diminished, right? But they're still there, right? And in addition to still being there, they are an icon. A lot of people think they're groups. A lot of people think they are a brand. They are both. They are both of those things. Like I said, Rose City Antifa, that was considered to be the first Antifa group in the nation, right? And then Torch Antifa was the... It was like Rose City was one of the first, and then Torch Antifa came along as well. Like, and they were like a big network of different ARA factions that like rebranded into Antifa and stuff like that. I talk a little bit about this in a video that I made on it. Oh, excuse me. She's just a Nick fangirl, and most of her shit's cringe. What, like a Nick Fuentes fan? I wouldn't have expected that chick to be a Nick Fuentes fan. But anyway, the point, like, Antifa is a little bit of both. You have groups that have been branded as Antifa groups. They are groups of people. They may have loose membership. They may have tight membership. Regardless, though, they call themselves Antifa, right? And then you have groups that don't brand themselves as Antifa that will still operate under the Antifa banner, much in the way that, like, well, ARA is a little bit different, but regardless, um, it benefits you to classify Antifa as a terror group because anyone who is flying that flag or using the modus operandi, which is the black bloc, are in a serious risk of being fucked up in some way, shape, or form, right? Um, Now, I think anonymity is a right, and it is a protected right when it comes to free speech, but this is a situation where you got to make a compromise. Either that, or at the very least, you have to be able to look at someone who's walking around in black bloc throwing Molotovs or whatever else, and you have to be able to go, okay, like that's not like this dude is just trying to wear a mask to hide himself from being charged as a criminal, right? In this case, in a situation like that, it potentially, depending on how it's used, makes a black bloc subject to arrest in and of itself, right? Um, is anything going to be perfect? Not necessarily, right? But there are positives to this. One of them being that the branded groups, they're going to have to disperse or they're going to have to rebrand. And even then, it's like, well, if the mafia rebranded, does that mean they're not the mafia anymore? No, they would still get fucked with, right? But then in addition to that, it is taking away an icon of the left that they still use currently. You have like even the other day, fucking like literally, I showed you guys this. I showed you guys this, right? Fucking what the fuck, you know? There was another one that I found the other day. Um, fuck. I keep meaning to add these to the collection, but I have to tape them up and shit like that. What's it called? I found one after the concert I went to a couple of weeks ago. It was literally trans flag Antifa, and it said trans anti-fascist action on it. I tore that off the pole. Unfortunately, I couldn't salvage it to save it and add to the collection. But the bottom line is, you're going to be in a situation where left wingers are basically going to be posting the ISIS flag around. And what's going to happen is they're either going to get seriously targeted for that, or they're going to have a crisis of conscience where they're going to be like, oh shit, if I put this on a flagpole, am I going to get reported? Is somebody going to do it? It's see, this is a topic that I'm very well equipped to talk about, but I didn't expect that Trump just now was literally like just now, right this second, was going to classify them as a terrorist org. So I was kind of caught off guard by that. But the bottom line is, it is a shot at the left wing that, if they didn't want you, or if they didn't care, if they were all cool with it, if it didn't matter to them, they wouldn't be freaking out about it, trying to get you to believe that it's not a group, it's just a movement, or a brand, or whatever it is, an aesthetic, right? If they didn't care that much, if it didn't matter that much to them, they wouldn't be trying to convince you. They wouldn't be trying to gaslight you into believing that you're crazy for trusting your eyes and everything like that. As if we haven't. I mean, literally, fucking like, I showed you a picture of people who had the Antifa flags up and were handing out fucking propaganda and shit like that. But it's taking a shot at the left that you 100% should take, because for one thing, the people that are in those branded groups, they're going to be targeted, and there's going to be arrests made, especially after some of the things that have happened and some of the things that probably will happen in the future. But then in addition to that, even if you're just someone who's like Yeah, I sure love Antifa. Wow, cool aesthetic. Haha. You're not going to be posting it around, and it's not going to be an icon. It's not going to be a propaganda victory for you or your friends. It's not going to be something that you can use as a uniting thing, right? Um, Remember all the systems they set up for Antifa will be used on you in 3 years, and that is the other side, Neon, and I do agree with that. But um, it's just a situation that's like, well, I mean, what are we gonna do? Like I'm tired of getting weather updates. I checked the weather once like 2 or 3 weeks ago, my weather app, and now it sends me weather updates every hour, as if I couldn't just look outside and be like, oh, it's just raining out. Oh. But anyway, like I said, it's a complex topic. It's not hard to understand, just like with the Eurasian thing, fucking the Duganism thing. Um, I'm just having a hard time putting it together, or it's not even that I'm having a hard time putting it together. It's that like my guilty conscience is getting to me just a little bit, where it's like, okay, I like that Antifa, I like that the left is under the microscope, but yes, I am a little bit nervous about that in the future. But also, let's be honest here, Neon, they were gonna do that anyway, were they not? They were already doing it. They lied and they said that right-wing terrorism is the biggest threat in the nation to this day. That's not true. It's not, and it never was, and it never has been. It has always been left-wing terror. When you look at any decade in US history, it is always anarchists and communists who are doing the most to like bomb places and kill people and kidnap, etc., etc. But like the left wing was always going to do that to us in the first place. So it's kind of a situation where, like, as I'm thinking about it, as I'm working through this right now, trying to like square the circle in my own mind, there's a piece of me that's like, well, I mean, 3 years from now, when they steal another election and we get some fucking, we get Kamala finally gets in there. Kamala finally, President Kamala, everybody. When President Harris is in office, she's gonna do all this to us anyway. She'll do it, and Patriot Front will be getting busted up. The most like the most milquetoast nationalist group out there, Patriot Front, where the most they do is just walk through a city every now and again. You know, um, they'll be getting busted up. The Proud Boys, they haven't even been active in a long time, but the left never forgets, and they love trying to kill their political opponents, no matter how long ago that opponent was actually doing anything. And because of that, now the Proud Boys are getting targeted, and you are getting targeted just for being like, "Hey, I don't like this." It's like we might as well get them as much as we can before they start getting us. Is kind of how I'm coming around to feeling about it right now, even though it doesn't feel good. We're in a war here. And I mean, if you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. That's just kind of the way it is. So, you know, it is what it is. Nothing we can do besides be ready for the swing back, like we saw after the last Trump admin. Exactly. So maybe that's what you meant, Neon. When you said about the 3 years, when you said that about 3 years, I took that as like, hey, this isn't good. It'll be used. I kind of took it as finger wagging a little bit, but I don't know if you meant it as like, hey, just remember we got them now, but they're gonna get us in a few years too. Like that's one thing. Um, isn't that right wing terror stat from the ADL? Yeah, and I totally trust the ADL. I totally trust the ADL. You know. Uh, CR says I'm in the UK and there's a lot of Antifa here as well. England and Scotland are excuse me, are English people though, big groups willing to travel. I'm convinced they're paid to do this. Oh yeah, 100%. Um, that's one thing the right wing needs as well. While we have the institutional powers, we need to set up systems in which we can get funded by the government. Now, this is one of those things that can be a little bit tough because even though the left has the magnifying glass on it and it's getting hit by the sun ray right now, That doesn't mean that like Patriot Front is going to be able to get funding. And I mentioned this is the second time I mentioned Patriot Front. I'm not a fan of those guys necessarily. Um, I was around before they were even around, and I've interacted with them, and they're always fucking weird. They're always just like weird dudes. But anyway, excuse me. Like that doesn't mean they are going to get funding from the government or anything like that. You know. Um, so it's kind of a situation where people who have the ability to, I mean, nah, I won't talk about that right now. I was looking into yeah, fuck it. I was looking into federal grants. I shit you not. I was looking into federal grants to see like how that works and what could potentially be done with that. If I'm being completely and totally honest with you, I haven't looked deep yet, but hey, I have the website up in my browser. All right. One of these days I'm gonna get to it. One of these days. But jokes aside, like there's going to have to be new groups of people or maybe old people forming new groups that are specifically dedicated to trying to exist and survive off of federal grant money so that they can take that money and use it for whatever they are able to use it for, right? And part of that is going to be say like street activism and stuff like that, you know, because that's the thing about the left wing is that their activism is all paid for by the government. It's a lot easier to do that in the UK because the government in the UK and a lot of other European countries is so far infiltrated that their conservative party is just democratic socialists anyway, right? So it's that's why you see those kinds of people in the UK, you know. European Antifa is a lot more entrenched and a lot more violent even than American Antifa, you know, or just American leftists and stuff like that. American leftists are kind of behind in the game. And when you consider that American leftists are behind in the game, what does that tell you about American right wingers? You know, at the very least, the American leftists had U.S. aid, and I'm sure they have other funding methods, other ways that they get funded now via the government and other stuff like that. I'm sure USAID got taken down, and then fucking there's like some other grant thing that they started utilizing that because it wasn't like a pop culture, a pop politics thing. Trump either doesn't know about it or he just doesn't have an interest in it right now. You know, I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. We stand with the ADL here. Why, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Have you seen how they're trying to make Kirk Shooter into a MAGA supporter? Oh yeah, they were always going to do that. You know, I'm not like there's two things the right wing needs to do. Two things the right wing needs to do. One, they need to learn how to get plugged in to the teat of the U.S. government. They need to find funding and they need to entrench themselves in a way that makes them an authority that say YouTube is going to want to utilize, like how the ADL does, or the SPLC, right? These were not groups that were started by the government. These are groups that were started independently that got plugged into the government in one form or another. And now because of that, the government uses their shit. Different corporations use their shit. That's what needs to happen. There needs to be think tanks. There needs to be advocacy groups. There needs to be research groups and things like think tank research group. I feel like that's the same thing. But you get the idea. You get the idea of what I'm saying. And that's tough because a lot of right wingers don't have the aesthetic or the optics to be able to go to the government and be like, hey, can I have some cash? They're going to be like, why? Because me and the based bug Nazi boys, just all 2017 memes, all 2020 memes, throwing them at this government worker. Like, me and the Boogaloo boys. We want to start the based Nazi group. Could we have money? You know, you have some guys that are like literally that stupid, and then you have other groups of people where it's like they're libertarians, so they're like, oh, but we don't need the government. What do you mean? What do you mean government money? We don't need the government. Fucking. Now, the other thing that people need to learn to do, people on the right need to learn to do is, oh, excuse me. Um, Oh, by the way, somebody said hello on Twitter, and I completely missed it. I apologize. What's going on, Sour Farmer? First off, And then what's going on, dog in a hat? Hope you're all doing well. If you're still even here, I apologize for missing when somebody chimes in on Twitter or Twitch like Cherry Blossom just did. I try to make sure I say hello because I typically don't have people watching there, so I apologize for that. But oh yeah, and then the other thing that the right needs to do is they need to stop being surprised when the left is evil. Like how many times do we have to point out that the left is evil before everyone's just like, oh yeah, they're evil. That's just the shit they do. Yeah, that's how it is. It shouldn't come as a surprise to you. It's one thing to point it out in like a propaganda way, but a lot of people don't do that, and you don't like. Not everybody needs to be doing that. If you want propaganda, form a propaganda unit, if you will. And what I mean by that is form, say, like a media outlet or something like that. Um, that way you can have news articles. Again, you need legitimacy, and news outlets offer a form of legitimacy. And don't make it super based 1776 news. It can't be that. That's part of the issue with some of these alt tech platforms. It's not just that like they were going up against juggernauts. It's that some of these alt tech platforms decided they were going to make it into like a political thing. Truth Social, for instance. I'm pretty sure that was Donald Trump's thing. Truth Social. Yeah, I'm sure tons of people use that shit. What's it called? Gab, right? Gab wasn't bad. Gab wasn't bad. Gab isn't bad. But the branding of it was like, oh hey, it's for right wingers. Basically, hey, come here if you're right wing. You need it needs to be something that the average person can take a look at and be like, oh, this is good. Even like Blue Sky, like I made a Blue Sky account just to see what it was like because everybody was talking about like, dude, have you seen Blue Sky right now? Blue Sky, I don't know if blue in Blue Sky is a reference to like blue is in Democrat Party and just, the left wing in America or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but like I haven't seen anything other than the posts by the people on the platform so far that says, hey, we're by the left wing, for the left wing, you should definitely come here. No, it's a Twitter clone that was just a Twitter clone, and that's it. And there's even features that they have that are like a little bit different that are actually kind of interesting, different avatars and stuff like that. I haven't played around with it too much, so I really don't know. I just wanted to see like who was saying what on Blue Sky. But you have to take over the culture, and there's a bunch of different ways to do that. Last time I talked about culture is in media, music, movies, things like that. You need to make music. If you can't make music, that's totally fine. I'm not a musical guy myself. So what you could do instead is you could start up a media outlet that reviews music, and you can only do or mainly do right-wing music. You could start an awards show for all the right-wing music. There's the thing and there's everything that is peripheral to the thing. So if you can't do that thing, if you're not a movie maker, if you don't know what a fucking FX3 even is, if you don't know what anything is, if you don't know what a boom mic is, that's fine. You don't have to make the movies, but you can review the movies. You can give awards to the movies. You can be a guy who helps out in some other way. As soon as he turns 35, Cole from season 2 should be president. I believe. I agree. Blue Sky is an infinite void, and I will never take the plunge. Yeah, I'm not using it. I've logged in twice just to see what it's like on the app because, like I said, I heard everything about what people are saying about Charlie, and I was like, oh, I'm wondering about that. What's going on? 2 decades too late. Hey, Scott, don't you think that by people on the right saying we are fighting the left are evil, etc., continues more of the political discourse that those on the right are saying is let me read that again because I may have read through it too quick and I didn't digest it, or maybe the way you worded it was just a little confusing. It's one of those two. Hey Scott, don't you think that by people on the right saying we are fighting the left are evil, etc., continues more of that political discourse that those on the right are saying is wrong. I have more left leaning opinions. Those who celebrated Kirk's death don't speak for me and should be known for the person they are, but surely being able to say things is the basis of free speech. I've, I mean, yeah, like being able to say things is the basis of free speech, but it's like the left said for years: freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. You know, you have to, you got to remember that one. You got to remember that one. Um, Sorry, I was reading some other stuff that I felt like I missed, but I don't know exactly what you mean by the first one you sent. If you're saying like, hey, don't you think it's a bad thing because like it'll lead to like more conflict? Yeah, it's gonna lead to more conflict, but you know what? Sometimes conflict is not a bad thing. So like it's uncomfortable. Conflict is uncomfortable. I don't like conflict, you know? I'm very permissive with a lot of different shit because I simply don't feel like having to deal with it, you know? Like at work, there's this guy, he hasn't been there for as long as I have, but there are benefits to me letting him think he's Mr. fucking leader. So I let him do a bunch of shit. And because of that, he does a bunch of shit that I don't want to do in the first place. So it's like, all right, whatever. Like, that's fine with me. But it does get fucking annoying every now and again to have a dude who's like, oh, dude, no, do it this way. No, you gotta do it that way. Dude, what are you doing? Why don't you do it this way? And don't get me wrong, like, I don't let him boss me around, but I also am not gonna be like, dude, fuck off. Because once you breach that, it's like, oh, like, I just told him to fuck off. He's gonna remember that time I told him to fuck off, you know? And I don't know if this is a guy who holds grudges or not. So, whatever. I'm gonna let him say whatever he wants, and as soon as he walks away, I'm gonna just go back to doing what I was doing the way that I was doing it. You know, I don't like conflict myself, but sometimes it is 100% necessary. And if it ever became necessary, I'm gonna tell the guy, "Yo, dude, leave me the fuck alone. Get away from me." And if that changes something, that changes something. You know, and I feel that we're at that point right now where we need to steer into the conflict. Not physical conflict, of course, but the proverbial conflict. And we need to be willing to try and take out as many left wingers as we can. Proverbially, of course, like I said, we need to be able to look at them. Peace out, Neon. We got to be able to look at them and say, hey, if you're going to have these thoughts and these opinions, you're not going to have a job. You can have a job or you can have these thoughts and opinions, or at the very least, share them. You know, I know we can't control what's in that fucked up mind of yours, what's in that fucking spaghetti brain of yours, but fucking at the very least, you shouldn't be sharing it. And you shouldn't be rubbing it in people's faces when people are dying or other things like that. So, have fun in the unemployment line. You know, we need to be willing to do that. And if you're more left wing, oh, excuse me. Okay. All right. Okay. 2 decades too late said those on the right, those on the left saying Republicans are Nazis. On the mode is no different than the right saying the left killed Kirk. The gloves are off now. We're going to fight like hell. No, it's not the same. It's not the fucking same at all. I can't believe not to be an asshole 2 decades too late, but I cannot believe that you would make an equivalence between those two things. Republicans are Nazis. Why? Cause fucking they are. They're racist. How? They don't like black people. Where did they say that? They just did. Like that's the fucking shit you deal with on the left. The right is saying, yo, they literally fucking murdered one of us. One of us got killed, and it was one of the best of us in terms of the whole talking it out thing. Me, I'm an asshole, right? I'm not interested in talking it out with leftists. I've challenged multiple people from the Satanic Temple in Salem, Mass to fight. None of them want to take the fight. You know, dudes that train too, not like they're fucking one-eyed freak leader. What was his name? Like he's Damien or some shit. He's got one of those wannabe like edgy emo like guy fucking names that you know he wasn't actually given that name as a kid. He fucking changed it. But like me, I for years I have not been interested in talking to the left in that way. It's just not something I've been interested in, because why would I be? Because leftists are scum, like Sam said. I'm not saying you 2 decades too late. I'm not saying you specifically. What I mean is that garden variety commie, that garden variety millennial white bitch liberal, like that, the garden variety race grifting black dude or woman, the like those kinds of people, they are scum. They do not deserve jobs. They do not deserve polite society. When Charlie Kirk was murdered, they had an opportunity to say, yo, that was not cool, but they didn't. They laughed. I remember when Charlottesville happened, most people on the right wing were like, whoa, hey. At the very least, they said things like, hey, that was a bad idea to even go there in the first place. I don't know why they decided to do that. Of course, something like that was going to happen, blah, 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 right? Even if it wasn't like, I disavow. They criticized, right? But then you had a lot of people on the right who were like, whoa, I disavow that completely and totally. Those guys were not us. They were Nazis. They're Nazis is what they are. Me, I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. No way, no how. The left did not do that. You had some people on the left who were like, whoa, that was not cool. But you had way too many feeble fucking people on the left who were like, ah, got him. Fucking got him. Yeah. When's Trump? And because of that, yeah, the gloves are off. And even if it was the same thing, I'm not going to justify trying to keep my enemy from killing me. Because me, I don't even want to kill leftists. I just don't want them to have any kind of power over anyone or anything at all. Especially teachers and things like that. Fuck that. But they don't deserve the power. They've shown what they will do with that power, and is never anything good. So because of that, they deserve to be the lowest caste, below the plebeians. It should be fucking plebeian caste, and then fucking a caste below that, the leftist caste. They should be disallowed from polite society. It's not cool. More so that the left associating the right with the far right Nazis is akin to the right associating the left with the actions of those who were celebrating Kirk's death. No, no, not at all. To look, you got to get off this, man. You got to get off this. You got to take the L. All right, just take the fucking L and be like, yo, I don't think that's cool. Like, you know what you're doing right now. You're being a moderate Muslim, is what you're being. If I'm just being honest with you, you're being a moderate Muslim. The first fucking thing that happens when some fucking Habib bombs somewhere with innocent people, women, children, men too, men are people too, believe it or not. The first thing that fucking happens is some moderate Muslim, some fucking Ahmed, hops on Twitter and is like, wow, that's awful what happened, but let's remember that Islam is a big fucking religion, and let's not take our anger out on the good Muslims. The first thing they fucking do is make it about themselves, and you're doing that right now 2 decades too late. You may not realize it because you may have good intentions. You just don't want to see conflict. You don't want to be lumped in with bad people. I totally understand it. I get it, and I appreciate that you don't want to be lumped in with bad people. Don't stick up for bad people inadvertently. Don't be like, whoa, hey, like, I don't condone what they do, but we shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, either A, come around to conservative ideals, regardless of how conservative it is, right? I think a fucking neocon is probably a little bit better than a Democrat. I'll be honest with you, right? Although not much better, but still. But even beyond that, right? At the very least, if you're not gonna give conservative values a try, just fucking shut up. Just stop talking about it. Just stop talking about it. And when the time comes, be like, yeah, I never supported that. Those guys were assholes. They're not my pals. I'm not gonna stick up for them. I'm not in the same fucking group as them. That is what it is. It's like it's just there's no point in trying to argue about it. How many young Republican women posted TikToks celebrating the Minnesota slaying? Exactly. There was something else. Oh no, yeah, yeah. I already answered the Dugan thing. Somebody mentioned something about Alex. What was his first name? Alex. I'm pretty sure it's Alexander Dugan or something like that. Yes, yes, that was him. Okay, I was curious about that, but um, yeah. So Jimmy Kimmel got fucking smacked. I wanted to lead with this. So now that we've talked about two different topics, now that we've talked about two different topics, the wind is kind of taken out of the sails of this. But Jimmy Kimmel got canceled, fucking, and I guess it was because of something that he said. I actually have it on my Sorry, I got a shit post. Anyway, um, where the fuck? Okay, all right, cool. So apparently, Jimmy Kimmel got canceled for this shit.
Some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. Okay. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
You see, this is something I've always had an issue with, right? I'm glad Jimmy Kimmel is taken off the air, but truth be told, I feel as though they probably were going to take him off anyway, and this was just the excuse, because that's something you see a lot of, is like a lot of companies will do things. They'll cut a business relationship with like another company or a client or something like that. They'll cut a business relationship with them on the back of some kind of controversy, not even because they're like, we care about this controversy, but because it gives them an out that is not just, hey, we don't want to use you anymore, you know? It's always better to save somebody's feelings in that way than it is to have to explain to them like, yeah, we're just not getting what we want out of you, right? At least the way a lot of these people fucking in these companies speak, or not speak but think and stuff like that. Excuse me. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit to find that that is the reason why. But one thing that I always find disgusting, and this isn't probably what you guys are going to find too disgusting, but one thing I always hate is the way that people will use grief as a means of messing with somebody. And I don't mean like making fun of it or anything like that, but questioning it, right? Whenever I watch something like JCS Psychology or something like that, there's always a person who, like, they're not grieving right. And what I mean by that is either A, they cry about it and they get really upset, but they say that it's crocodile tears, or B, they don't get upset at all. And they're just like in shock or whatever. Now, in terms of a criminal psychology video, it's kind of in the name. These are criminals that we're talking about. So it's kind of hard to explain to someone how fucked up that is, that the police or the guy who's narrating the video is using that as some kind of weird piece of evidence that this person committed a crime. It's kind of hard to explain that because you're arguing against success. We all know that that guy did what he did. So because of that, when you're like, oh, but they shouldn't be using that, it's going to sound like you're just not dealing with reality. But it's something that bothers me because if they're going to do it to a criminal, if they're going to make that assumption about a criminal, they're going to make that assumption about you because they're always going to assume that you're a criminal. And this is one of those situations right here where you have Trump who he is the president of the United States. He does not want to cry in front of the nation or something like that. And he probably also doesn't want to do too much talking about the situation as well, because the way some people grieve is they just try and get a move on. They try their best to not constantly be sitting around and stewing on it and stuff like that. And I have a feeling that's probably Trump. Trump is a man of action, not to glaze, but he's the kind of guy who everything that he's built and everything that he's done, I have a feeling even when he's doing okay, he has a hard time slowing down and stopping. So it's a situation where when there is grief involved, he probably is like, okay, I just got to keep working. I just got to keep going. Oh yeah, Charlie Kirk, yeah, it's awful, but I'm doing okay. And yeah, you see that? That's something I'm working on right now. Haha. People deal with grief in different ways, and because of that, when Jimmy Kimmel used that as like a way to try and imply that Trump is like not upset, it's like, wow, that's low key one of the scummier pieces about it, in my opinion, you know. Which I've been seeing people say that younger gens are just not watching TV, which is true for me and all of my friends at least. Yeah, I haven't watched TV seriously since like 2014. Like, TV was something that I grew up on, obviously, because, you know, YouTube was only around from 2006 or 2007 in you know, the form that it would become famous in. I would have been like 11 or 12 at that point. And with YouTube, it wasn't what it used to be in the beginning. It wasn't what it used to be. It wasn't what it is now in the beginning. So there was still a use for TV for a while, but when YouTube like, you know, 2012, 2013, 2014, when it started to really take off in those years, you had a situation where, for one thing, you can find a lot of the stuff you watch on TV on YouTube at that time anyway. But then in addition to that, why would you watch slop like fucking the news or like even the History Channel or something like that, you know? I remember when the History Channel was good, and even then it was still a little weird. It was obviously a propaganda channel, you know? Every other show is about Hitler. You know, I remember when Nickelodeon was good, when Cartoon Network was good, you know, but they're just not good now. So I stopped watching, and then I got kicked out of the house, and I didn't have cable. So it was like, whatever, you know, I guess I ain't doing TV anymore. Yo, what's going on, Arthur Morgan? Eantor? Eantor? Rouge Tuyo? That's a crazy name, man. Anyway. Yeah, because Stephen Colbert was taken off just because I think these media companies are finally seeing the writing on the wall. Oh, yeah, for sure, you know? But it is funny to see that, It is funny to see that this is the straw, or if it's not the straw, this is the justification that was utilized. And I saw somebody say that, like, they thought the movement was losing steam. They thought the quote unquote movement was losing steam. And here's the thing about a political movement. It's not something that happens over the course of a week, right? A revolution happens over the course of a couple of days, a week, a month, you know, maybe a year, something like that, right? When something is collapsing, it does not take that long. But the thing is, this is not a collapse situation that we find ourselves in. What we find ourselves in is we're in a situation where a new political movement is forming, and that movement, while it seems familiar to us right now, this time next year, if it keeps up, it's going to be completely and totally foreign to us. And that may be a good thing, that may be a bad thing. You know, it's like the Tea Party and things like that, where that went to, or the alt-right, for instance. This is the genesis of a new movement, and we will see new pundits pop up. We will see new leaders pop up. We will see new groups, new tactics, new strategies, new everything. And because of that, there's going to be weeks where a lot happens. There's going to be weeks where not a lot happens. There's going to be times where some big celebrity gets fired because they said something about Charlie Kirk or some other topic that they are not allowed to talk about. You know, people are calling it right wing woke or something like that, or conservative woke or something like that, or woke MAGA or whatever. I think there's probably a better term that could be used for it. And you can't just call it the new right, because every time there's a cultural shift on the right, people call it the new right. You know, we should call it the Scott right. We're gonna call it the Scott right is what it's gonna be called. The Scott right, everybody. But yeah, like we're seeing a new part of history form before our eyes. You know, this was a Charlie Kirk being assassinated was a singularity, and you can't expect people to be riding the wave of Charlie Kirk's assassination forever, but you can see things that reverberate off of it. You know, you can see the branches. If the assassination of Charlie Kirk is the tree trunk, you're going to start seeing branches form. You know, people splitting off from the original, people forming a new whatever, etc., etc. You know, that's the way it's going to end up being. Um. Oh, hold on. Oh. What the fuck? I'm waiting on a message. Oh, oh, okay. I'm waiting on something from somebody, and they just got back to me, so I'm like, oh, I gotta do it. I'm supposed to be playing AoE. I was supposed to play AoE a lot earlier. This was supposed to be an AoE stream, and it's only gonna be like a 2 to 2.5 hour stream in the first place. It's not gonna be the world's longest stream. Um, I see it as a spark that starts a fire. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, what is the end point of the Scott Right? Ruler of the world. How big the fire? I don't know exactly. You know, the alt right didn't have to crash and burn. What caused the alt right to crash and burn was a couple of different things, and I'm not saying that I am like alt right or anything like that. Um, anyway, but yeah, the alt right didn't have to crash and burn the way that it did. What caused that was disunity, a focus on e-celeb culture, because the alt-right was very, very tied into e-celebs. The alt-right was e-celebs pretty much, and then like their fan bases. And then in addition to that, it was poor tactics and poor strategy. You know, Unite the Right, when Unite the Right was happening, I was like, dude, Antifa's in for it. Because back then, the only thing I could think about was, oh, Antifa, but Antifa, oh, dude, we gotta fight those commies. We gotta get them, yeah. But looking back, it definitely was a tactical error. It was a tactical blunder, and you know, the guys that were running it were more concerned with a belief in their they were egoists. You know, the guys who ran it, the guys who organized it were egoists, and that's what happens when your big thing is e-celebs. You know, basically it all comes back to e-celebs in one way or another. Yo, Scott, how's it going? Did you hear Kimmel's off the air for good saying stuff about Charlie Kirk for good? They said indefinitely, but if it's for good, that's great to hear. I'm happy to hear that one. By the way, what's going on, Frozen Joe? Yeah, we actually did just talk about that. We watched the video. We watched. Did you hear about the Chris Cantwell tapes? Did you ever have any run-ins with him? No, no. When I so here's the timeline of events for me, right? Uh, April of 2018, March or April of 2017. I fall in with a group of trolls, basically. It's people online who, because Antifa was this new threat, we were making fun of them by creating fake accounts and doing different media and stuff like that. That's some lost media of mine. All right, that's some lost media of mine. You guys are never going to get to see those under any circumstances because they were cringe by design, but still. The bottom line though, I fell in with a group of people who were not necessarily 100% politically minded, but they didn't like Antifa, and they thought it would be a good idea to kind of mess with everybody, not even just the Antifa people, but everybody. Now, me, I was politically minded, and because of that, I was a little bit more focused on trying to undermine Antifa. And yeah, so there was that. But what happened through that was I figured out about this group of people who were putting on a rally in May of 2017. That is where most of the pictures that you guys found of REA at the rally were actually that rally, was the May 2017 one. When I went to that rally, I went on both sides. I pretended to be Antifa. I did a video there. Again, you guys are never going to get to see that one. That was probably one of the worst videos. But, and after that, I was like, oh, that was cool. So I kind of kept an eye on things that were going on. And I noticed that there were things going on in California, like there was the Pacific Northwest. And then I also figured out about this thing called Unite the Right. Now, me, I'm still Mr. like not wannabe Antifa guy, but I'm the I'm a wannabe troll, if you will, a wannabe troll. And I kept an eye on what was going on with Unite the Right, with Charlottesville, but I never, under any circumstances, was like, hey, I should get in touch with those guys, you know? I just was not interested, you know? That happened. Then the week after, there was the 45K rally, which was the same group of people in Boston. I went to that, also pretended to be Antifa. I had NBC with me that day. They mic'd me up, which... I mean, like, I want to save these stories for the Patreon. I'm actually working on in fact, I'll show you guys a preview of the next video that I'm going to be doing. I just haven't had a lot of time to do it, and it was only supposed to be like a monthly thing in the first place anyway, so, you know, but, like, this is the next video I'm going to do. It's a dossier on all the different groups that mattered back then, you know? All the different groups that mattered back then. Pretty much all of this was from memory too. But anyway, oh yeah, but I was with NBC that day. I was outside of the vans, of the trucks, the paddy wagons that REA was in. And I was there for the riot, the small riot that ensued. And after that, I was like, wow, that was crazy. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on these guys. And then in November, they did another one. And that was the first one that I did as an official member of Boston Free Speech. Was the November Rally for the Republic is what it was called. And it was put on by a sister group of ours called Resist Marxism. Those guys were weird and annoying. One of their, I shit you not, one of their main organizers wore a wire that day because he got doxxed and fired from his job by Antifa, and he figured he could get in good graces with them so that they would vouch for him and be like, he's not a Nazi actually, by wearing a wire and trying to get our information. He literally walked up to us. We used code names and stuff like that because we were anonymous activists, and he literally walked up to us and he was like, hey everybody, how's it going? Yeah, crazy we're all here today, huh? Hey, why don't we introduce each other, but let's use our real names this time. He literally did that. And we know he was wearing a wire because, for one thing, we saw under his suit jacket, right? He was wearing a suit jacket that day. But then in addition to that, just to be sure, I whip out my phone, I walk by him, and then I pretend to be texting, and I purposefully walk into him and bump into him in the back. And I felt the box. I felt the fucking box that he had the wire attached to. That is how ridiculous this shit gets sometimes. But yeah, so that's kind of the timeline for me. So like I came into the activist scene after Charlottesville, you know? Like I was not an activist back then, you know? My code name was Red Mamba. Yeah. My Scottstein files confirmed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The Sullivan files. Oh man. So are you Frank Hassel of political events? Well, no, not necessarily. I do have you know what? Um I don't know. I don't oh man. I gotta see if I can find it. I gotta I'm not sure if I have it or not. If I have it in my um sorry, I'm looking for something. I may have downloaded it. If not, I have to make sure I download it. Man, yeah, I don't think I have it. Ah, that sucks. There was one day where I like harassed these fucking guys until they got really upset and they started like walking at me like they wanted to fight. It was pretty funny looking back at it, but I don't have a video of it. At least I don't think I do. I can't seem to find it right now, but yeah, I have download. Oh, movies. Is this it? Oh, fuck. Damn it. Damn it, it didn't fucking down whatever. Maybe I'll show you guys that one day because that one was pretty funny. Um but yeah, pull up the cringe we want to see it. Nah, no way, you know. His diabetes box. Who's diabetes box? Cherub cow. Cherub cow. I do want to see if I can uh because it's on an old channel. It's on an old channel is the things. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Um, Damn, that's creepy as hell if he said it like that. Said what like that? Smart more. Oh, yeah, yeah. Nah, there was like, truthfully, like, getting people to understand what that was like is so tough because there's stuff out there that's like it, but it's all LARPy type stuff. Like if I told you that it was like spy versus spy type shit, you'd be like, "Oh, fucking he's LARPing." I'm not. I'm fucking not. We had infiltrators. We infiltrated. Fucking we doxed one of the no, when I say doxed, what I mean is exposed. We exposed one of the biggest doxers on the left at one time. We played a huge part in that. My guys. There was one guy in particular who he got a really good find related to this guy. And now this dude is in a years-long lawsuit from some of the people that he doxed because of some of the work we did, you know? People would come to events and stuff like that. They'd try and blend in. A lot of the time it wouldn't work very well. But like it's so hard to describe to people because most people don't think that something like that could happen, you know? They don't realize that there is kind of another world in that way where, like, people wake up every day just excited to go confront their enemy in some way, shape, or form. And, there's something crazy and something really exhilarating about showing up on a random street corner in Boston, waiting for your pals to get there. Y'all get there. You duck into the alleyway that is near the street corner. You change into your shit because you not disguise, but you wore a mask. Fucking you wore a mask. You blocked up. And then like emerging, going to the event, there's people who are going to try and follow you home. You duck into another alleyway. Once you lose the tail, you change. And then when you emerge from that alleyway that you changed back into your regular clothing in, you walk by the people that are looking for you and they have no fucking clue that it's you. Like, there is something crazy fucking exhilarating about that is intoxicating. And eventually you end up in a situation where it's not that you don't care about the politics anymore, but the politics and everything else almost comes second. And you're just there to try and see if you can take a swing at that guy that you have a beef with. Because that's the thing is, eventually you start to know who is who on their side. There's names I could spit out at you right now that, like, I still remember names, because we just stood across from them so many times, and there were so many times where there was some kind of scuffle or something like that was going on. Like, it kind of gets to that point. It's the closest thing to football hooliganism that we had in America. And it was beautiful in a way, even though it was not the healthiest way to spend your time. Most of the guys that I was doing that with are either have charges now, for something stupid, by the way. We never did anything illegal, but that's not the point. The point is we were standing against left wing everything, including the government. So because of that, like, they would trump up putting up a sticker on a sign that already has tons of stickers on it. They would trump that up to, like, some kind of vandalism or hate crime charge or something like that. But then there's other things like that. Like, if you get into a fight, there's a chance you end up getting taken in, and that's some kind of charge on you. But, like, there's dudes, like, I got off lucky. I ended off in a better place than I started, because it was early 2021 that we all stopped, and it was, I think, late 2021, maybe. Yeah, it was like late 2021 that I met Sam. And I only knew who Sam was because of those guys that I ran into. Um, but it's exhilarating, and there has been something missing from my life ever since I left it behind. But I left it behind for a good reason, because the times were changing, and that kind of thing was not feasible anymore for either side. You don't even see Antifa out like you used to. Even those the No Kings protests are fucking old people, and then even the anti-ICE protests, like, nobody. There was no black bloc. There was no street takeovers. There was no nothing. Um, and then in addition to that, it was getting too serious with everything that was going on with J6. I wasn't there. I was not there. I don't know anybody that was there. We stayed away from that. Our region was Boston, maybe Rhode Island every now and again. We had one thing in New York that a couple of guys went out to. But we realized, like, okay, now is probably the time to pack it in while we aren't sitting in jail cells, because even though we're not doing anything illegal, like we said, it doesn't matter to them. Um Metal Gear Scott Tactical Espionage. Yeah, it really was, to a degree, especially in a city like Boston, where you had to get creative about stuff, because, like, it's one thing two groups meet and they just go at each other like you saw in California or Washington or anything like that, but the police in Boston, they had it on lock. So a lot of the time it was like we'd leave a place and Antifa would follow. There'd be like 3 to 5 people that follow us, and we had a choice whether it was, okay, let's just keep on walking till we lose them, or if we turn around and we do something about it, um it's like I said, it's exhilarating. And I think it was a formative piece of me. I think it was something that helped me to become the man that I became today. I'm a lot more dependable. I know how to lead people without being like a fucking asshole, without being a chauvinist. I'm a real leader. A lot of people think they have leadership skills when really all they have is just an ego that does not allow them to see anybody else's point of view or consider any other option than the one that they came up with first. Um, I take pride in the fact that while my guys were not being led by me, but when we were out on the town, if you will, when we were out in the field, if you want to call it that, when we were doing our thing, like I was usually the first one to pipe up to say, "Hey, we should do this." I was usually the one who was checking in on everybody, making sure everybody was all good. I was usually the one who was like, "Hey, let's think about what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do it." So the fact that none of my guys got hurt, that is a plus to me. I really am happy about that one. Um, but it helped me. It didn't help most of the guys. I think there's reasons for that. I'm not going to go into those reasons. But I think it helped me, and ever since then, I have felt that there's been something missing from my life, if I'm being honest with you. But it's good. It's good, that I'm not doing that anymore. And even if I could go back to it, I probably would not, because I'm not the same guy that I used to be. I'm actually more vicious than I used to be. I'm much more willing to throw down, and I'm willing to really try and hurt somebody if I have to throw down, compared to back then. But I know that, like, I got a wife. I'm trying to have kids. I'm trying to get my life started. And I don't need to be running around in a mask like fighting commies, even if they were around. Scott needs to infiltrate the Cumberland City Council. Who says I haven't already? Take a look at the video. The woman in that video, her skin looks a little loose, doesn't it? Almost like it's a skin mask, wouldn't you say? Scratch Coast says you were in the ganglands. I've been a cross dresser before. I know the routine. Yeah, you gotta tuck. You gotta tuck and tape. The bike lock basher. From fists to knives to gun, not in order. What was your code name? Man. All right, we'll play a game or two of AoE. We were supposed to play a while ago. I haven't been playing AoE lately because I told myself if I'm not going to be playing with friends, I don't want to play anymore, because it riles me up. If I don't get the result I want, it riles me up, and the last thing I need to do is be upset about a fucking video game. That shit's stupid. So I'm probably going to be trash, truthfully. Right. Scanning the scene in the city tonight, looking for you to start the fight. There's an evil feeling in our brain, but it's nothing new. It drives us insane. Running, on our way hiding, you will be dying 1,000 deaths. Do 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 do. Oh man. I've been getting ready for a tournament. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing serious or anything like that, but I have been working out a little bit more lately. So these Wednesday streams especially, I'm a little like, ugh. Like right now I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. I kind of want to go to bed. And I didn't even do anything too crazy today is the weird thing. Chef says Metallica rules. Yeah. That's fucking haboob. Fucking haboob. Anyway, yeah, that song played during training today, so is this the Chinese tournament? Yeah. I signed up for 3 things. It's going to be Shuaijiao, which is Chinese jacket wrestling. It's going to be what they call Ultimate Sanda, which is literally just MMA. So I'm gonna be doing MMA there, I guess. Um, and then in addition to that, I decided I'd do something stupid, and I signed up for dagger fighting. They have point sparring, and then they have continuous sparring with daggers. Obviously not like real ones, you know, but I'm about to get destroyed. I haven't played in at least a week, probably. I would guess. If not, I haven't played in like half a week, and I am playing on a map that I'm not exactly good at. I haven't played Haboob ever, I think. But anyway, yeah, so I'm doing the I'm fucking around with the dagger fighting because I figure why not? I might as well. And maybe I can make a video on it. You get like multiple people have told me that the whole Fight Quest inspired series is a good idea. And I like that idea, you know. I like it. I mean, of course I like it. I thought of it myself and I started trying to implement it early on in the channel. Um, the issue is it's hard to find, like, there's nothing in Massachusetts or anything that does exist in Massachusetts. Well, I don't even think that's like, I don't know. Like if I try to find a Taekwondo tournament, right? Because Taekwondo was one of those things where I was like, hey, why don't I like take a week of Taekwondo and then enter a tournament just to see what fucking happens, you know? If I can even get away with that, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe I could fucking lie. That's what I did with the first Sanda tournament that I entered. I told them I was from Sullivan Sanda Kung Fu, and they actually published it in the list of schools that were participating. That was dumb as fuck. But anyway, if I had known they would have done that, I would have done the dumbest fucking name. It would have been like General Tso's Chop Saki Ching Chong fucking like I would have been like that. But anyway, yes. Oh no, 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 I can't go there. I can't go there. Go here and then here, I suppose. Even though I'm kind of blocking off that, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Bang, bang, bang. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, like, I figure the knife fighting, if I get good enough footage, I can at the very, yeah, I'm fucked, man. I'm fucked. But anyway, dude, what am I doing? I'm not playing this right at all, but, I figure that with the dagger fighting, if I get a good enough video, I can at least good enough footage, excuse me, I can make a video on it, and that'd be nice. You know, it'd be fun to do that, and I would love to return to that kind of video where I again try to do the Fight Quest inspired thing. But come on, yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna work. I want to try it anyway. I'd love to be able to do that, but the issue is there's nothing in Massachusetts. Like, I looked for a Kyokushin tournament. The closest one is New Hampshire. And after I went to, oh, jeez. After I went to Connecticut for a Sanda tournament, and it turned out that it was just a way for some fucking assholes to get their students, like, really, really bullshit kung fu guys to spar with. When I realized that's what that was, I was like, dude, I'm not traveling out of state to go to these fucking things anymore, you know? Fuck that. Oh, this fucking asshole's trying to go at him. I thought he was trying to kill that thing. That stuff. Yeah, I'm doing this way out of order. I'm just realizing, too. Oh no, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to bring that over there so that he can lame me. He wants to lame me is what he wants to do, which is fucking bullshit. Fuck this guy. Piece of shit. That's such a fucking cat, like, again, this is why I get upset about shit, is because like there's always some asshole who's trying to do something like that. And it's like, well, if people are going to be assholes, why would I want to be around them? Come on. But yeah, what I was trying to say, like I said, I can game or I can talk. I can't do both. What I was trying to say is I'd love to return to that, and if I get good enough footage, I will. But I don't want to have to travel out of state for it. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to like pay for. I don't want to have to pay for admission. I don't want to have to get a hotel. I don't want to have to take time off work, etc., etc. Because there's a good chance it'll turn into a fucking bust anyway, you know? And there's no, like, Taekwondo in Massachusetts, you know? There's no Kyokushin in Massachusetts. There's nothing that, like, I think would make for an interesting video like that in Massachusetts. It's all just, like, it's literally MMA or nothing. You can do MMA, you can do boxing, you can do kickboxing. You just don't have anything else. Hopefully he doesn't quit if you start beating his ass. I'd love for him to quit if I start beating his ass because fucking... I don't want to play this map. Although it would be nice to savor the victory. To savor the victory. Uh-oh. 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 Ah, man. Oh, dude, I thought I was going to have to long walk this one. I'm already long walking these, you know, which is not good. But, you know... See, I should have went for the rhino first, and then that rhino, but, you know. Silly me. Silly me. Aren't I just a silly guy? My favorite martial arts thing I saw recently was this Japanese girl who kept spamming the same kick over and over. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I saw that too. People like a cute fucking Japanese girl. It was Japanese, right? Yeah, like I said, this dude's about to fucking run me through. I don't have any, like, he's gonna make scouts, I guarantee you, either that or he's gonna make archers and he's gonna rush, you know? Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Oh yeah, and then maybe I should, 1, 2, 3... There we go. What the... No, you know what he's doing? You know what he's fucking doing? He's trying to... Yep. That's such a stupid move to fucking pull. That's such a bad move to pull. He's trying to build this thing, but I'm just gonna rush it with these guys anyway. He's trying to wall it in, but it ain't gonna work. Oh, fuck. Damn. Actually, that's not necessarily good. Yeah. This was a bit of a this was a bit of a miscalculation on my part. Although for some... Oh no, you know what? I think I know what it is. I don't think he gets this guy's... I don't know what he thinks he's doing. Oh, that's what he thinks he's doing. Okay. Yeah, not good. Not good. But it is what it is, you know. I can still make this work, kind of, I think, because like he's really being kind of fucking stupid with it, you know. Oh. Yeah. Honestly, whatever. We'll call this one a warm-up game. You see, this is something I only just figured out you're able to do with the Teutons. Castle dropping. Castle dropping is not castle dropping, but tower dropping, right? People like Teutons get really good towers, so because of that, they'll go into feudal age and they'll tower drop. All right. Oh yeah, fuck that, dude. These maps are terrible. These maps are so fucking bad. Pacific Islands should not be a thing. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, but that's something Teutons do, and like that's something that I've been seeing more and more. It's probably because I'm hovering around the 1,000 elo range, so dudes are like they're just doing weird shit like that. But yeah, I was doomed from the start. I maybe could have boomed behind. Dude, fuck off. Whatever. If I get the same guy again, I'm not even gonna bother. Fucking Bulgarians, whatever. Whatever, bro. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Who gives a shit? At least give me one arena match, you know? My Arabia map is grassed instead of desert. What's the problem? I don't know. Beats me. Beats me. Oh, thank you very much, Adagia. Thank you very much for the $10. For some reason, there was no notification of that. I only just got that now. Apparently, TTS and chats was off. I don't know why, but thank you very much for the 10, Adagia. I apologize that I apologize that you didn't get the ding. You know. Oh, there it is.
Cheers, Scott.
Ah, okay. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I can recycle it.
Cheers, Scott.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Hillfort, not my favorite, but I'll take it. Dan was gonna fire up AoE too, but just realized I have to buy it again to play ranked. Now I'm not so sure. I wonder what my ELO is now. Oh, you have to buy it again. Did you like return it or something like that? How's that work? Celts and Portuguese, so I need to make sure that I really need to attack him early and often. Oh, you bought the HD edition 10 years ago? Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, it sometimes I forget how old this game is, you know? Chances are he's like right here. What are you doing? Oh yeah, fuck. We don't get oh damn. We don't get berries on this. At least I don't. If we do, they're on the inside. The inside, the outside. Oh damn it. So first off, I need to one. Well, no. I should put it here. Two. Let's take care of that. Oh, fuck. This game is not exactly going the way I want it to either, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I was wrong. Instead of here, he's about here. Was not far off. Oh, shit. Damn it. You know, I'm gonna say fuck it, and I'm a long walk this. Alright, there we go. My downtime is so crazy right now, you know? I always have a little bit of downtime because that's just how it is. That's how I play, you know? And, like, you know, I never tried to fix that necessarily. But, like, the amount of downtime I have now, the amount of time I waste not realizing, like, oh, I forgot to fucking make vills, dude. Whoops. Is, like, whew, it's palpable, you know? Antifa officially designated a terrorist organization, if you haven't already seen. Yep. Yeah, you know. I think it'll be a good thing overall. You know? A lot of people wanna act like they know what's best or like how things are gonna work out and stuff like that, you know? But at the very least, there is a method, a way to actually target these terrorists now, you know? And it'll be a situation where if people are too friendly to Antifa, they are going to, people meaning like mayors and stuff like that, they're going to ooh, come on, baby. Sorry. Like I said, I can play or I can talk. Sometimes I can't even do either, but where's he at? There he is. Oh yeah, like it's a way to target your enemy, so why wouldn't you utilize it? You know, that's the big thing. Nah, whatever. In addition to that, it puts people in a situation where they have to be very careful, meaning like mayors and you know, city councils and stuff like that, police, because if they are too soft on Antifa, people are going to wonder, hey, why are you... Oh. Nah, damn it. If they're too soft, if they're too soft on Antifa, people are going to... Interesting. I'll take you guys back over there. For some reason, he didn't take these two. It's weird. Like Marty Walsh, right? He was very soft on Antifa. He was the mayor of Boston. Like he should be targeted, you know. And I want to be very careful about what I'm saying. What I mean by targeted is he should be asked, like, hey, why did you support them? And if there's anything that can be done legally about his support for what is now considered to be a terrorist organization, then something should be done, you know, whatever that may be. Whatever, I'll go there. Fuck it. You know, we need to stop letting people get away with this shit, you know? I'll go there. Oh, wait a second. Damn. Funny how Antifa practices fascism by attacking anyone that disagrees with them. You see, I understand what you mean by calling them fascists and shit like that, but I think we need to stop doing that because fascism and communism are two different things, and anarchism for that matter. And as long as we are going to resist them, we might as well know who they are and what they are, you know? But then in addition to that, like, why is fascism a bad word? And I'm not a fascist, I'm not sticking up for fascism, but, like, why is fascism a bad word, but communism is not, considering that communism killed more than fascism ever did? And it failed harder than fascism ever did, mind you. Again, not a fascist, not sticking up for it or anything like that, but that's just the truth of the matter, is that when it comes to not a lot of room out here, you know, for that reason, I'm gonna go out here. Like, stop calling them fascists because they're not. They're communists, you know? Fascism should not be a synonym for authoritarian brigand who is, like, a piece of shit and wants to kill political opponents, you know? Because, yes, while fascists were that to one degree or another, oh, that's why I couldn't build it there. While fascists were that to one degree or another, communists were that too. Communism has done far worse, exactly, you know. But and again, it's just a symptom of the programming, is really what it is. It's a symptom of. Wait a second, didn't I? Oh, he got those fucking. Oh well, first off, what's this idiot doing? He got those fucking. Unless. Yeah, I have a feeling this dude may have gotten his sheep back or whatever they were. Dude, I suck. I fucking suck at this game, you know? But yeah, like, it's a symptom of the indoctrination that you have experienced for your entire life by boomers and Gen Xers, assuming you're not a Gen Xer or a boomer yourself. It is a symptom of the indoctrination that you have suffered your entire life, that you see fascism as inherently something that is jackbooty and everything like that, and you don't think communism is something that you can also describe or use to describe as that, you know? What I really mean is your mind immediately goes to, oh, but that's fascism, when somebody is trying to stifle free speech, instead of communism, even though they both did the same exact fucking shit. Again, I can play or I can talk, but I feel like I'm doing a good enough job there. I like to think so. I like to think so, you know. I'm gonna build it right here immediately. I'm hoping I'll get up there before he does. If I do, it's in the bag. If not, it is going to be a tough one. You know, there's this show called Murdoch, right? I never really watched it, but I've been watching YouTube videos about it, as I tend to do with certain TV shows and stuff like that. That's how I figured out about Moral Oral, and that's one of my favorite cartoons. But one of the funniest moments, one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a cartoon is these guys, they are actual fascists. They are, like, unabashed. They're no shame about it. You know, to them it's a good thing. And they're trying to explain to this Republican, R. the Donald, right? Which is just an amalgamate. I can't believe I'm explaining this fucking shit, but they're trying to explain to I won't even explain it. I won't even explain it. After this match, we'll go ahead and we'll just watch it, because me explaining it is just going to be so stupid. Ah, shit. If he's ready to drop a castle, I am in bad shape.
Kia.
Oh shit, yeah. Let's go over here. Boom. I've seen a bit of Murdoch. Murdoch, it's hard to follow for a bit. Yeah, I mean it. You couldn't make something like that. Well, you could, but you couldn't make something like that today in the form that it's in now. And what I mean by that is like the whole internet landscape is different. You know, the memes are different. The ideologies are slightly different. The outlook on a bunch of different things is different. And because of that, you could never make Murdoch today, you know? If you did, it would be something different. Right, baby?
Yes.
Alright, I gotta hurry. So he's got gunpowder, but the thing about the gunpowder that he has is that it's only really useful in big numbers, you know? And if I have enough Woad Raiders, which I don't have a ton, you know, again, my eco has always been my bottleneck. But where's this idiot going? My eco is always my bottleneck. Uh-oh. Dude, what the fuck? Hold on. Oh, yes. Yeah. This is gonna be tough. This is gonna be a tough one. Where are you going? Where are you guys fucking going? Okay. Hopefully he doesn't. Oh, damn it. Ooh. Shit. All right, you know what? Fuck it. We're going for it. We're going for it, ladies and gentlemen. Luckily, these Woad Raiders are quick enough as to where they can Oh man. Boy, is this stupid. If this actually works, that is the dumbest fucking thing. It worked. It's gonna work. Alright, cool. I guess we just castle dropped him. Although I am not in good shape here with my eco, as is the case often, the case. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. What is going on here? Nothing too crazy. The YouTuber old Sterling. Yeah, that's the guy whose videos I've been watching actually. I suppose that's good. Alright, let's get back down there.
Kid, beat fear.
Kid, forward. Margaret, Duncan. Kid, Kogo, Kogo.
There's still a good chance he'll be able to pull this off, too. Because I'm that bad right now. And he might cook something up that I just don't see coming at all. Nah. So, you know what?
Kid. Kia.
Alright, we're gonna go there. Now, you know what? We're gonna go this way. Hopefully that'll work. Oh, man. Ooh. Nah, I ain't gonna make it. There's no way I'm gonna make that. Oh no, I might actually. Oh, you see, that was a smart move on his part, you know. Yeah, you see, he's got enough of those that he definitely can come back. It wouldn't surprise me, you know. I'm too far out of practice, you know. Too far out of practice, and he's already boomed beyond me. I guarantee you, he boomed in this direction, you know. Oh, yep. There we go. Whatever. Yeah, so, exactly. He boomed in this direction, you know. He even boomed this way, you know. You know, I'm out of practice, so it's not surprising that I would lose that. Even if I'm, like, able to castle drop and, like, you know, kind of push in. It's like keeping the momentum is like, oh, it's especially on that map too, you know. The lack of berries really kind of made it weird for me. I wasn't exactly sure how to go about it. I handle it pretty well, but just not well enough, obviously, you know. Sorry, checking Twitter again, but all right. Anyway, yeah, I got a few minutes. I'll show you. I'll show you guys that fucking thing. You know. I'm trying to think of what to type. Man, I'm not finding it. I'm looking for like a short. You know, I'm pretty sure Old Sterling had it on his thing. I'm not 100%. Oh yeah. Here it is. Oh no, wait. Whatever.
So you see, Arthur Donald, civic nationalism is destined to failure because of biological...
Whoa, check out this base black guy with the Trump hat. The Democrats are the real racists.
No, goddammit, we are. Murdoch Chan, it's impossible.
That was like really funny to me when I first saw it. But yeah, it's a very 2017 kind of thing, you know. You couldn't make it today because the ideologies are different, you know. Like even though a lot of not millennials, what the fuck, a lot of Gen Zers that are coming up, they're just as right wing and even more right wing. They're not as ideological about their right wing values. You know, they don't feel a need to LARP. They don't have like Nazi flags, and they don't dress up in like World War II shit, or Flecktarn because Adam Waffen is a thing. They don't do that. It's just not something they need to do, not something they feel like they want to do, you know. It's funny, they're actually their aesthetic is much more just like pro America, you know, from what I've seen. If they even have an aesthetic, if you will, or more their attitude. Their attitude is just like generally pro America, you know. And just the like I know Murdoch is parody, right? It's a parody of love. It's not like a parody of like hatred of like, oh, this is bad. You shouldn't think that. We're gonna make fun of it. I mean, in some cases it is, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying, you know. Flecktarn, yeah, that was a big thing Adam Waffen used to like, from what I understand, you know. Man, I wanted it to be a quick 2 hour stream today, and it has been about 2 hours. We'll look. We got a little under 2 minutes. We'll give it that a little under 2 minutes. You know, we won't cut it. We won't cut it short or anything like that. You know, we'll do our thing with that. But yeah, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to talk about in the anyway, I don't know what to end it off with. I don't know what to end it off with, you know. But thank you for coming here. Thank you for tuning in. You know, I appreciate another nice Wednesday night. You know, thanks for being here, Arthur. I appreciate it. You know, when you went away to the military, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, oh, all right, well, never gonna see that guy again. And then, sure enough, you show up as a corpse. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you coming back, you know. Yeah, a chill Wednesday night, you know. You don't need tons of shit on like a Wednesday night. It's just nice to hop on here and talk to you guys about stuff. It's Fridays that like I really need to plan stuff for, and I've had a lot on my plate these last couple of weeks. I have an idea for a Friday stream, but I'm not 100% sure about it, whether or not I want to do it. So we'll figure that out, you know. It's just like I just got too much shit on my plate, you know, bottom line. But yeah, I fucking love World War One German airplane camo patterns. Yeah, yeah. If there's one thing you can say about Germans, it's that they dress pretty snazzy. They dress pretty snazzy, don't they, you know? But yeah, it is the 2 hour mark right now. It is 2 hours and 12 seconds. Now it's 13. Now it's 14. And I just want to say again, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Nice Wednesday night stream. I will let you know about what's going on for Friday night. We will. I'm gonna try to make sure I do something good. You know, do something special. Do something special. But we didn't even actually talk about the Charlie Kirk updates. Now that I think of it. I wanted to talk a little bit about like what we found out about the guy and stuff like that. The guy who shot him. But I didn't. You know, I didn't do that. I talked about a few other things that were related to it, but I just realized I didn't actually do updates. You know, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the Jimmy Kimmel thing, but like I said, the wind was taken out of the sails. You know. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna head out. All right, thank you guys so much for being here, and until next time, peace out.